Greetings, my name is Mike and welcome to Osaterix Yoga. At Osaterix, we believe that age is an asset, and our yoga programs are designed to help you live your life with a little bit more ease. I'm really excited about today's practice because we're going to work on a chair yoga routine, and I just love chair yoga for so many reasons, which we'll get into as we start the practice. But since it is a chair yoga practice, it would be great if you had a chair. So if you take a moment to get settled in your chair. The other thing I would say with any type of yoga practice, it's a practice and it's your practice. I'm only offering you some suggestions or a guide on some poses that you might find some stress release or help you with breathing or flexibility. But ultimately, it's really your practice, and you decide if something's not working for you or it doesn't feel right. Please back off. Okay, so hopefully by now you are settled in your chair. And we'll start with the 6 movements of the spine. Really a great place to start, particularly it's so powerful when we're in a chair. So we can start, if you can notice how I'm seated, that I'm trying to sit up tall, I'm not trying to round. So part of our practice is to get length in the spine. We'll get into a lot more of that as the practice throughout today's practice. But try to sit up tall as best you can. I know we have different things going on that may inhibit us from doing that, but do your best to try to sit up nice and tall. And by sitting up nice and tall, maybe you can kind of relax your shoulders a bit. Hands could be anywhere. I just like mine on my knees. Some people like to put the palms together. It really doesn't matter, whichever place you're comfortable with. And let's come into that breathing. Always, it's breath-aligned movement. Simply meaning that we have to connect with our breath, and then eventually we'll add some movement, but the breath is going to lead the way. So we take a moment or two just to settle into our practice. And by that we mean try to put aside anything else that's going on right now. It's going to be waiting for us when the practice is over. This is your time to connect with your breath and to really establish a relationship with your body. So we'll start with those 6 simple movements of the spine. The first one is simply up and down, but not way up. If you can, I'm going to do this as an extreme, so you don't do this. Don't go all the way up like this. It's really almost like a nod. It's down and then up and down. So nothing too extreme here. Really working the flexibility of that cervical spine. So while we're doing this, where's your breath? Meaning that, are you just moving your head up and down, or are you able to make that connection with your breath? So if you're struggling with that, just stop and then start again with your breath. Inhale could be up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Simple as that. So let's continue on. If you can, with that breath-aligned movement, we'll just turn our neck to one side and then the opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Just do a few more on your own, but you get the idea. Many times, I should say most times when I'm practicing, I actually will say inhale and exhale mentally to myself. It's a great way to keep myself focused on the practice. And let's come back to center. So the third movement we'll do is cat-cow. So I'll turn sideways so you can get the idea. But cat-cow, if you've done yoga on the mat, you may have done this before. So starting with seated position, long spine, inhale, I kind of lift up my chest area, kind of lengthening my spine. Exhale, tuck my chin and round my spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, Exhale, round. Breath in, breath out. Inhaling, exhaling. One more. Inhale, exhale. Come back to center. One of my favorite cat-cows. We can get into why that's so amazing. Okay, next one is simply going to be an arm movement. Inhale, arms reach up long over your head. You can bring them out to the side to begin with. And if you like, exhale, they can come forward. Doesn't really matter which way we do. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. So this ideally is lengthening the spine. As we inhale up, we gain length in that spine. Maybe you can really feel that. Exhaling, release down. Inhale, see if you can feel that lengthening from your lumbar spine all the way up. Exhale down, just a couple more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Breath in, spine lengthens. Exhale, arms down, softening the body. So the next one we can move to is just a spinal twist. So it's going to be actually, I should say, spinal circle. So as we're in the chair, it's simply kind of moving your lumbar spine. I don't know if you can see that, or maybe I'll turn sideways. Sort of like moving side or in a little bit of circles here. And then you can go the opposite way. So it's really focused on the lower part of the spine. And it's come back to center. So the last one is a spinal twist. So one of my favorite ones. So sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, arms reach up high. And as I exhale, my right hand comes over to my left knee and my left arm kind of reaches around to my chair or whatever works for you. Inhale, lengthening my spine. And as I exhale, I can soften a bit where I can twist here. And then we'll take a few breaths here in and out through the nose. Each breath in, feel a lengthening of that spine. Each breath out, maybe a softening which allows you just to twist, maybe just a micro movement. Notice the breath is a little bit constrained, but you're still breathing as best as you can without forcing it. Just another breath or so here. And then inhale, let's come back. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, my left arm to my right knee. That right arm starts to come around. Inhale, I lengthen. And then exhale, twist. Each side might feel a little bit different. But let's come back to that rhythmic breathing. Inhale, feel that spine get long. Exhale, a little softening, which allows you just to turn just a bit without forcing it. And when we're dealing with the spine, if you're feeling any pain, please back off the pose. So this is not about pain. It's about stretching and breathing. Just a couple more breaths here. Get into that rhythm where you can feel each breath in, you feel energy lengthening, each breath out, release of tension. Breath in and out. And then let's slowly come back all the way up. Let's take a full breath in and then release it all out. Move whatever you need to move. And let's just settle back in our chair and let's come back to a little bit of mindful breathing. Your eyes could be open or closed. And just do a simple body scan. Perhaps noticing that you're sitting as straight as you can. Maybe even scanning all the way down to your feet and toes, and perhaps noticing if your toes are kind of grasping the floor or the mat, you can just soften them just a bit. So now we'll transition into the Sun A series, simply moving our arms up in a forward fold. Inhaling, really reaching up high. We feel that spine lengthen once again. Exhale, fold. So we keep the spine long as we can as we start to come forward. Now eventually that spine's going to have to round, but we keep it as long as possible. And if you're able to, slight tuck your chin. And the idea behind these sun salutations is that our head is as even with our heart, or maybe even a little bit below our heart, which allows us to find some sense of relaxation or comfort, even though it might feel a little claustrophobic here. You may notice when you see EMTs, somebody is under stress or duress, a lot of times they'll have them sit down and put their head between their legs. It's a very calming position to be in. Just another breath or so here, and then we'll add a sequence of movements. Next breath in, let's slowly reach all the way up high. Exhale, soften your shoulder blades. Inhale, let's lengthen. Exhale, start to come forward. You can move forward on your chair just a little bit. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, hands onto your knees or shins, kind of lengthening that spine. Exhale, release your hands down. Inhale, arms out to the side, really reaching up high over your head. Exhale, soften those shoulders. Inhale, reaching up high. Exhale, start to come forward. Reaching, coming all the way down. Breath in, hands on your shins, kind of squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Last one, we'll hold it. Inhale, reach all the way up high. Exhale, soften your shoulder blades. Inhale, lengthen once again. Exhale, kind of tilting forward all the way down. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. So really connect with the breath here. I know in this position it's a little awkward because you might feel your stomach kind of rolling on your knees, which might kind of inhibit your breathing a little bit. But we still do our best to breathe as best as possible. Maybe you can soften your stomach, your belly area, and to allow a little more air to come in without too much forcing it. And then next breath in, very slowly, we'll rise all the way up high. And if you like, you can bring your hands to heart center. Full breath in, and then exhale. It's releasing that pose. Let's move on from here. We'll move into eagle pose. Inhale, arms reach up high over your head. Your right arm's going to reach underneath your left arm, and both arms are going to just give yourself a little squeeze. So hold it if you can. I'll show you that again. Arms up high. Right arm underneath the left arm, just a hug, kind of giving yourself a hug. And you may just want to stay right here. But if you want to join me, we can move to a little bit of a spinal twist here. So inhale, I feel that spine lengthening, and then exhale, I'm going to twist over to the right side because the right arm went underneath. We're going to do a slight twist over to the right side. We're all going to be different here. So don't force it. It's a matter of breathing through this. Inhale, you feel that spine lengthening. And then exhale, maybe you just feel a little bit of a twist. Stay connected with the breathing. Keep your mind focused on the practice. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Exhale, release your hands down. Full breath in. Let it all go. Let's move on. Inhale, arms up high. Left arm reaches under the right. Both arms giving you a little hug, a nice little squeeze here. Inhale, lengthening that spine. Exhale, twisting over to the left side. Stop when you feel that resistance, and then we'll come into that rhythmic breathing. So if you've been practicing for a while, I think you start to have an awareness of the power of that rhythmic breathing. It allows us to breathe through discomfort. It allows us to not react to everything that comes our way. So that's the beauty of this breathing practice of our yoga practice. It's something we can take with us in our everyday life. Just a couple more breaths here. Inhale, slowly reach up, arms up high. Soften your shoulders. Once again, breath in. And if you like, exhale, hands to heart center. Full breath in. Whatever you need to do, move around, roll. So now we're going to switch to the Warrior Two series. And very simply, we're going to move towards the end of the chair. So I'm going to turn sideways, if that helps a little bit. So I'm at the end of my chair, and my right leg, in this case, is going to go this way, and my left leg is going to turn. So I'm actually going to be turning on the edge of my chair. So that makes sense to you? I turn this way. You can see if that helps you. One leg goes out, kind of back. The other goes forward. And then I just simply reach my arms out. And here's another area where we might feel a little tension in the breath. In the shoulders, excuse me. We just get to send awareness, breath awareness to those shoulders. So as I feel the tension there, I can just exhale and drop my shoulders an inch or two. And sometimes you'll feel relief there. So if you're able to, the gaze might be through that front hand. And if you like, you can revolve that warrior. So the palm turns up and then reaches up high while the back arm reaches down. So it's sort of this pushing and pulling. So as I reach down, I feel some energy in my fingers. My upper fingers, I can reach up higher here. One breath here, and then exhale, I start to come back to that Warrior Two, and then we'll move into this, what's called a side angle pose. So my front forearm is going to come on my bent knee here, and that back arm just reaches up, and you can stay here. If you like, you can maybe bring it a little bit forward, but check in with your neck, so there's no strain in the neck. Sometimes it's helpful if you kind of turn a little bit so you can look through your armpit. Always coming back to the breath. One more breath here. And then we'll come back to Warrior Two. We're just going to transition to the other side. So you can release your arms down, come forward, kind of reset yourself. And as I said, I like to come towards the edge of my chair, and I just go the opposite way. So my one leg is going to go this way, and my right knee is going to go forward, and then I just reach out. You can always adjust. If it doesn't feel right, you can bring your knee in, you can bring them closer. We're really trying to just focus awareness to the core area here, kind of our hips. It's a little bit of a hip opener. It's nice for the spine. And then take your gaze forward, checking in with your shoulders, adjust as you need to, and then always come back into that breath awareness. You can flip that front palm, and we'll just revolve that warrior. So inhale, lengthening up here. Exhale, a little softening. One more breath in as you reach up high. Exhale, coming back to Warrior Two, and we'll go right into that side angle. So my right forearm on my knee, top arm comes up. I gain length here, and it can stay or just bring it slightly forward. Check in with your cervical spine so it's in line with the rest of your spine. And slowly, let's come all the way back up. Breath in, exhale, release down. Let's start to come forward. Once again, let's reach up high. Inhale, up. Exhale, soften those shoulders. Inhale, lengthening that spine. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Full breath in. So we're still seated in a chair, so I'm not back on the chair if I can help it. I'm sort of using the strength of my spine to kind of hold my spine along. And we'll just add some leg movement before we move into rest. So I'm going to shift away to my right leg, kind of pushing, it's my left leg, push through my left heel so I can kind of point my toe of my right knee. And if you're able to, maybe you can lift up that knee. You can always hold on to your chair if you need to. But then breathe right here. We're not holding our breath. And let's bring it down. And we'll go right to the opposite side. When you're ready, inhaling, lift up that left leg. So these poses, they look so like easy or straightforward, but they're really not. You can feel the quads working here. And feel the weight of your leg kind of providing some resistance. And of course, we're staying aware of our breath. Let's release. And we'll add on from here. So start with the opposite leg, lift. And as you exhale, push through, straighten your leg, maybe push through your heels, toes up. Inhale up. You can use any brace you want. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now, if we keep it down, let's see if you can just pulse it just a bit. We're all going to be totally different here. Do the best you can. Maybe you're not able to bend your knee here. That's okay. Maybe it only moves an inch or two. That's all fine. That's all fine too. But notice if you're like leaning back. I just started doing that. So we're really not looking to lean back like this. We're really trying to strengthen the core. So we try to keep that spine long. All right, that's enough of that. Exhale down, release. Let's take a moment. Just notice the sensation in that leg. Let's switch. Go right to the opposite leg. And we're ready. We can push, straighten, inhale, lift, exhale, lengthen, inhale, lift, exhale, straighten, breath in and breath out. Inhale, exhale. Let's hold that and not hold the breath. Stay here. If you want to pulse it up a little bit again, we're not arching that spine back. We're using that, and maybe you can feel the length of your leg into that hip socket. Ultimately, we want to strengthen up the core area here where we can get a lot of strength and stability. And it's also where there's a lot of stress. We can release stress. A couple more here. Each leg is going to be different because our hips are different. And release, relax. Wow, that was something. Whew. So we're going to shift again to the opposite leg. We did before, we kind of pointed the toes. Inhale, lift, and exhale down. Now, as we do this, this looks quite simple, but we're not kind of putting the foot down. It's a tap. So it's a very slight tap here. And notice, it's not as easy as it looks. Of course, when we do these kinds of things, I always like to check in, hey, what's happening with your breath? Are we just doing it because I'm lifting my leg up, or can I do it with some sense of awareness? Can I do it with a sense of awareness of what I'm feeling in my leg, my thigh? Just a couple more here. And release and relax. So I told you that this chair practice is pretty powerful. Hopefully you're starting to see that. That is, it's not just a simple practice. So it's involved and it's powerful. We'll go right to the opposite side. Inhale, lift, and you can point that toe up and down. I sometimes think that chair yoga gets like a bum rap because people think, oh, it's a chair, so it's really not really yoga. I would really advise people to try it because it's incredibly powerful, not only for the physical aspect we're getting, hopefully you're feeling some of that, but also we do get that mind-body connection. And that mind-body connection ultimately allows us to go inward. And to me, that's really the beauty of our yoga practice, is not only the flexibility and strength and control, but is the ability to have self-awareness as we move on with our daily lives. Just a couple more here, it's enough of my preaching. And release and relax. One last time, inhale, arms reaching up high. Exhale, soften those shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Full breath in. Release your hands down. So now we'll spend the next 3 or 4 minutes in rest. So now you can come back to your chair. So, most of our practice, we've been off the back of our chair. If you want to sit back into your chair, you can do that, but please try to maintain like an erect position, kind of long spine. We want to maintain the length that we've been working on this last, for the whole practice. So eyes can be open or closed, hands can be on your knees, fingers, whatever works. Some people like to put their palms open. It's really whatever feels right for you. Soften your toes. Breath awareness here. And if you'd like to do a simple body scan of just visualizing yourself sitting in a chair, having completed a yoga practice, checking in with your breath and perhaps softening any areas where you feel any tension or discomfort. Our bodies are really amazing things that carry us through life, ups and the downs. It's really wonderful to appreciate, to have a sense of gratitude, no matter what's happening with our bodies, a sense of gratitude for what our bodies do allow us to do. And if you'd like to join me by ending our practice, you can bring your hands to heart center, totally optional. A sense of gratitude for showing up today for our practice. Hopefully this practice will resonate with you, but any yoga practice, to get the true benefit of it, it really requires you to continue to practice. That's why we call it a yoga practice. So if you're able to, I would encourage you to cultivate some type of practice, whether it's chair yoga or any kind of yoga that really fits your needs. I think you'll find a great benefit of that. Until next time, thank you so much. Again, my name is Mike, and I'll see you soon.